Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. This is Laura Parrish, President, Founder, CEO of #TNS Marketing LLC, and it is Sunday, May 15th, 2016, and I'm excited to come to you tonight along with a few panelists of mine. Miss Dee Powell is joining us from Florida, and Jolene, and I never say her last name right. You guys know that if you join us every week, you know I try to say her name and I never get it right. One of these days I'll get it, but Jolene is joining us as well. And Jenny was just on. She had internet issues last week, and she actually was just on a couple minutes ago and then popped out. So I think she might still be having internet issues, but hopefully Jenny will jump back on. But tonight is going to be an amazing call. If you've seen an email that myself or someone else inside of MLSP has sent out to you about what tonight's call is about, or maybe an event invitation that you received through Facebook, or any other social media platform, then you know tonight we're going to be talking about linear income versus passive income. But before I get started, I want to let you know, I'm going to look over here. I have another laptop to my right, and make sure that we're live. And if you're out there watching this live, if you're not watching the replay, if you could just put a comment in the browser. It looks like we are live over here, and just give a shout out and say hello, so on and so forth. I'm going to be keeping my eyes on the comment section. So if you have any comments or questions, anything you want to add, anything like that, please drop it in the section there for you in comments, and we'll try to get those addressed for you tonight. But this is something we talked about a long time ago, Dee and I did over a year ago, and I wanted to talk about it again because it's been so long. It's always good to have refreshers. And I know, at least for me, before I got started in this industry over 4 years ago, I had no idea what passive residual income was or linear income. I was kind of clueless, right? All I know is I went to school and they were taught, you know, you got to go to school if you want to be anything in life, and then get a job and work for the rest of your life and retire and die and leave your family money, and that's pretty much it. So we want to kind of share with you guys the difference between linear income and what it is that we do, which offers passive residual income. So basically, linear income is when you're trading your time for money, X amount of time for X amount of dollars. So if you have a job that you work at 40 hours a week, 30 hours a week, whatever you work, you get paid X amount of dollars per hour, right? And then at the end of the week, after the 40 hours, you're cut off. That's it. The paycheck cycles or whatever, and it's cut for you. And then when you go to your job the next week, whatever it is that you do, whether you're in retail or whether you're sitting behind a desk or something like that, you're starting over. Literally, it's a new, fresh week, right? And it doesn't matter if you get paid weekly or bi-weekly. The hours in the week start over, right? So there is nothing recurring. There is nothing that is, I don't want to use the word stable or unstable, but nothing's guaranteed, right? You're literally starting over. And people have been with companies for like years and years and years, and they're like, oh, they'll never get rid of me, right? I know everything and do everything, whatever. But there is no such thing as stability, really, in anything, in a job, a career, a business, or anything like that. But you have more stability and more control when you own your own business, right? So linear income, like I said, it's income limited by hours available. So that would present a problem if you needed extra money, right? Do you think? Like if the transmission went out on your car, or your brakes went out, like Jolene was talking about last week, and it wasn't just your brakes, but it like went into the caliper, which ate into the rotor, and then she had to have all that replaced. Like, what happens when you have a financial emergency and you need extra money? Like, there's no way for you to earn extra unless you beg your boss for overtime, right? And if you happen to be someone who's salaried, then there's not even an option to beg for overtime, because you could work 60, 70 hours a week and you just get one flat income, and that's it. So and another thing I wanted to add in on that, and I have some notes here I wrote down. What if you get sick? What happens if you have a kid that gets sick and you really can't go to work because you can't send your kid to school because they're sick, and so you call your boss and say, hey, I can't come to work today because I have a sick kid. There's a possibility, and I'm not going to say you're going to get fired, but there's a possibility that you could lose your job, right? Because there are bosses out there that will say, if you don't come to work, you're going to lose your job, or you get written up. Like, you have any control when your kids get sick or you need time off. Or what if you just want a vacation type thing, and you're told when you can or you can't go on vacation. you don't really have any control. So with that said, I've talked for a little bit here. I want to bring Jolene out and have her unmute herself and talk about her take on linear income and how that's worked out for her over her lifespan in regards to having a job and linear income. So Jolene, if you want to come on out.
Hey, good to see ya. And I'll break that last name down for you, and you can just put it right over the top of the screen for you. So, linear income for me, it's been like really amazing. I mean, I just, like you said, when my truck broke down, then what do? Not only do you have the expenses that you, like you said, if you don't go to work, you don't get paid, and you can't ask for overtime. If I can't get to work because my car broke down, how do you do that? You know, now you're on the bus, possibly if you're on the bus, but buses sometimes don't run on Sunday. So you take a cab, and that's going to cost you a lot, but they're busy, so you're going to even be later for work. And sometimes people are like, oh, well, you're not going to show up. Well, that's just great. So it's it gets pretty tough. It does. I've run into all those situations many times. And then, like you said, with sick kids, I've got 3. You know, they don't just get sick for one day and that's it. One gets sick, then the other one gets sick, then the other one gets sick. And you're looking at a week and a half to 2 weeks of sick kids. And then guess what? You get sick. And then what happens? You know, so you're like laying in bed going, oh my God, and they're running around in circles, and you're like, I have to go to work. You know, so it's a big change. It's awesome. I mean, I can be home with Kennedy and she can be sick and not have to worry about getting, and then you're not supposed to take your kids to daycare if they're sick. I know a lot of them do because they have no alternative, but here's your alternative. You can hold your sick kid on your lap and do some of your work or your training, or just read what you need to do for 2 hours. Read as you hold your little bugger on your arms and they're drooling snot over you. But you know what? You're home with them. You're home with your child. You're home with whoever is going to be sick. Even if you're sick, you don't have to get up at 8 o'clock and drag yourself to work. You can stay in bed another extra hour and a half, get up, do your stuff, and then go back and lay down again and rest and get healthy faster. So, yeah, that's my take on it.
Been there, done that, right? Yeah, and I didn't even think about that. You know, it's about more than just, you know, when your kids get sick and things like that. When that happens, yeah, you have to miss work, but then you're also stressing. You're stressing about, oh my gosh, are they going to write me up? Are they really going to fire me? So you've got an internal stress and struggle going on as well because you're worried about your job. You know what I mean? Because obviously your income, you have to have income somehow, some way to, you know, put food on the table and clothes on kids, you know, and a roof over your head. So there's internal stress and struggle that comes with having a linear income as well, and working for someone else and building someone else's dreams and things like that. So thanks for your input, Jolene. So I'll hop over to Dee now. I saw that Jenny did pop on for a second, but then she popped back out. I know she's trying super hard to get on. She was really upset she couldn't get on last week, but hopefully she'll be back. So Dee, why don't you go ahead and share your thoughts on the linear income process over the last several years of your life?
Thank you, Laura. Yeah, you know, I had a job at a major Fortune 500 company for about 15 years, and I was laid off. And the thing about having a job and having a linear income is that a lot of companies are laying people off. And you get laid off, and then you have no income. And, you know, you might get, you know, unemployment for a few weeks, you know, but it really doesn't last that long. And it's like about a quarter of what you earn for the month. You know, you're going to get about a quarter, you know. So you really have no control over, whether you're going to get laid off or not. And then for me, I got laid off, and I found it very difficult to find permanent employment again after that. And, it really puts a stress on you. It puts a stress on your family, your finances, and everything, And even when I was working, I was going from, paycheck to paycheck. And, whenever I wanted to take time off, yeah, I had vacation time and stuff like that when I was working. But the thing of it is there were people on my team that had way more seniority than I had. So they only allowed a certain amount of people to take time off at the same time. So if there was a week that I needed off because, I had a family function or this or that, but there were 2 other people already out at the same time, and they had higher seniority, so they got to pick their weeks before I did, I was out of luck. I had to miss that family outing because I couldn't get off because 2, other people that had more seniority than me were able to get had bid for that week already before me. So I was out of luck. It didn't matter, And so, that's really hard to take sometimes, especially when, it's an important thing for you, So fast forward to finding contractor work, I was able to find work as a contractor doing the same thing I was doing before. The thing is that there's no benefits, and also if I don't work, I don't get paid. So with no benefits, that means there's no sick time, there's no vacation time, so whatever hours I work for a week, that's what I get paid for. So if I take a day off, for here and there, which there's still a little more flexibility, but if I take a day off here and there, I'm just out that money, that I would have gotten had I worked that day. So, and a lot of people that work part-time have that same situation where they don't have vacation time and sick time and so on and so forth. So linear really, it's very restrictive in the sense of your finances and your ability to make as much money as you want. You're only allowed to work a certain amount of hours, but if you need time off, that's lost money, So that's my take on linear income.
Awesome. Thanks for sharing that. Yeah, and that sheds light on, other things about being laid off too, like you said. And again, we talked about the stress, the internal stress of what's going on. When you have all this going on, the seniority thing, right? Like you're just out of luck. You're out of luck. If somebody else has asked for that time off and you need it for a family reunion or a vacation and like tickets you can't change or whatever, you're just out of luck. And it's hurtful and it's hard and it creates resentments, and anger and stuff like that, but there's nothing you can do about it. And then something else you talked about, that I had mentioned at the beginning too, which is if you have some kind of financial situation, like the brakes going out or your HVAC or something like that, you're trading, you're limited. Like your income is limited by the hours available. So if you need extra money, 99% of the time people aren't going to give you overtime. You get yelled at if you clock in more than 5 minutes early, right? Or if you stay on the clock more than 5 minutes after your shift. If you need to make more money, you literally have to get another job, right? Like you got to get a second job or a third job. And there's this struggle of living paycheck to paycheck, right? Paycheck to paycheck. And I got to be honest with you, and let me take a break here and say hi to Carrie. Miss Carrie Anderson's on. Cindy Bloom is on. Miss Barb. Sanders Cole is on. Barb, I don't know if Tim's with you. Hey guys, if you have anything you want to add that you want us to bring up and talk about while we're live here, please put it in the chat. I'm keeping my eye on it, and we'll be glad to bring it up and mention it and talk about it too and share it with everyone. But yeah, so it's difficult, That's why I got into this industry because, I had a job. I was a salaried restaurant manager. My husband was a salaried restaurant manager. When we had kids, we decided, we didn't want a stranger to raise our kids, so I would quit my job. And he would keep on, and he made a decent income, so we were able to do that. But we did; it was still cut in half. We went from 6 figures a year doing what we wanted to having kids and like half that, and living paycheck to paycheck. And I was like, damn that, right? Like, I wanted to be able to financially contribute. I wanted a piece of independence back, you know, not the mommy side of me, but the successful career person side of me that was successful at anything that I did and was able to contribute to society and things like that. So I wanted to be able to do something, but there's something else about jobs. And by the way, let me put this disclaimer out there. Anyone who loves what they do and is passionate about what they do for a living as a career and a job, we are not here bashing you, all right? We are not here to say you should quit your job and work for yourself, right? There are people who are very passionate about what they do, and if that's you, then that's what you should do. No matter what it is that you're passionate about in life, that's what you should do. If you're a doctor or a lawyer, you know, things like that, veterinarians, you have to go to school to be able to do that. And we need people like you, right, to help us when we're sick and when we need, you know, legal help and, you know, our pets and things like that. So definitely not knocking anyone who has a job or a career, right? That's just not for everybody. Some people, a majority of the people struggle, right, and aren't passionate about their jobs. They're doing a job because, much like myself, and I'm sure I speak for Dee and Jolene, which is we weren't taught that there was any other way to live when we were growing up, right? Like, you go to school. If you want to be anything, you got to go to college, right, and rack up all these bills, and then try to find a job or a career in that field, making X amount of dollars, hopefully pay off your, you know, college education, and then work forever, 40 years, and hopefully have enough money to retire on and leave to your kids and your family, you know, when you pass on. And I said, there has to be more to life. There just has to be more. I'm a weird one. I'm different. Hey, Jim, what's going on? Appreciate you coming in, bud. I just said there's got to be another way. There's got to be something more, something better out there than just to work for somebody else and build someone else's dreams. Like, how did they get started building their dream, right? How did they start that business and then were able to hire all the people who come work for them? You know, think about companies like Walmart and Target and McDonald's and just big corporations. You know, one person had the dream and the vision of starting that. You know, how do you be that person? You know what I mean? And, you know, one of the other things, and working a job, I didn't feel like I was having an impact, right? An impact on the world. I just felt like, go, clock in, do your work, leave, you know what I mean? But I wanted to be able to impact the world, and I knew there was a space for me in that somehow, some way, you know, and I don't know how I got to where I got to today. You know, I'm a recovering alcoholic. I've been sober for just over 5 years, you know, and I didn't used to live right and do the right things, but I knew before even all that happened in my life, right? I knew in my heart of hearts that there was a space for me to be able to do something bigger and better in life. Now, I had to go through a lot of crap to get to that, right? A lot of personal stuff to get to that, but I think we all do. I think we all have our own demons and our own things that we have to go through to get to where we're supposed to be. But the cool thing is when you get on the other side of where you're supposed to be, you know, they say everything that you want in life is on the other side of fear. And that couldn't be truer. That couldn't be truer. But let me share this too. And I talked about this before. If you're the type of person who's just like gung-ho and you want to be the best at everything, I know Jolene is, and I know Dee is, I know I am, I know Jim and Carrie and Cindy and Barb and all these people that I can see on right now who are commenting in the comment section. You guys are all that type of people. You're all the type of people who wants to do a great job, right? So what happens if you have a job, right, making your linear income, and you're busting your butt and you're doing the best that you can because you want to get a promotion, right? You want to do well. You want to move up in the company so you can make more money and get those positions of seniority, right? So you get the first call of time off and stuff like that. What happens if you really work hard and you're giving all these ideas to people because you want to make an impact and you want to get a promotion and move up, but your boss shoots them down? No, maybe your boss sees that you have great value to offer and sees that you have great, you know, heart and passion and content and value to provide to people, but maybe your boss is afraid that you might take their job. Never have that issue too? You just feel like you can't get ahead? I know I've had that issue before, and I got to tell you, there are different types of people in the world, but I got to say, the type of person I was I always wanted to have someone below me, right? Because I always moved up fast wherever I was at. but I always wanted to have someone below me that I could recognize that would do well, that I could teach and train to do exactly what I do. Instead of having the mindset of, oh, I don't want to teach them, I don't want them to know what I know because they might take my job, I wanted to have someone to know what I knew so that they could take my job. And the reason being is because I wanted to say to my boss, hey, I'm ready. Hey, me, I'm ready to move up. Oh, you're worried no one can take my place? Oh, don't worry. I got J.O.B over here, and I've already trained her. She's good. She can, like, come right in and do what I do, right? I wanted to train someone to replace me so that I could move up and then continue that pattern because I wanted to do self-growth and I wanted growth for people too. But not everyone in the world is like that. And unfortunately, when you have a boss in a linear income situation like that, you have no control. And it goes back to, you know, some things that Dee had talked about before. There's no control. Like, you can bust your butt and do the best and be the best and provide value and all these things, but you can get shot down, put down, slammed in the door in the face. No, you can't go anywhere. You can't move any further. And then what? Then there's more resentments, and then there's more stuck, and then they're staying at the same level or pay rate or whatever for however long, and that's in someone else's hands. Maybe you'll get a 2% raise once a year, 3%, maybe 5%. You know, I mean, I'm just saying, I don't know how you guys in chat feel watching this live, but you know, I've been there. And that's really all I have to say about linear income, unless somebody else has something that they want to add. But, you know, I just feel like the education wasn't there to teach me growing up that there was any other way to live. I just was out here struggling. I conformed for the longest time to linear income, and that's the way life is supposed to be. And then finally, you know, when I was a stay-at-home mom and we were struggling so bad, and I was just like, there has to be a better way. There has to be more life than this. There just has to be a better way. And so that brings me to people, and before we start talking about passive residual income, let's talk about the in-between. Let's talk about us who are on this call, maybe some of you who are watching right now who are also people who own your own businesses, working from home, successfully or even unsuccessfully so far, but you're just getting started, right? And so for those of us who are doing this already in the internet marketing industry, and we're marketing our businesses, and people who are still in the linear income, right, employment industry, see what we're doing, what's the first thing they say? Any ideas? Anybody want to put that in there? What's the first thing they say when they see people like us? People like us, right? Like we're aliens or something. Marketing our business, talk about what we're doing, like, because you got to understand more than 90% of people are accustomed, right? More than 90% of people are accustomed to linear income, and for that reason, they'll never be financially independent because they're relying on linear income. Over 90% of people, right? But when people who have linear income and that mindset see people like us, the transition over, and they're like, what do they say? Oh, that's a scam. That's a scam. That can't be real. You know, I even wrote some things down. I've seen people say to me, get a real job. Get off your butt. Get out of your house and go do something. Go work for a living for real. And, you know, I'm like, what? And it looks like Jolene wants to say something. Girl, come on out if you want to say something about that. Go ahead.
Yeah, I give people, oh my gosh, oh my gosh, what do you do? And I tell them what I do, and oh, I so wish I could do that. And I'm like, you can. Oh, I can't. I'm like, you can. You know, it's like you fight with them. I'm like, you can do this. I mean, I can show you. I can show you everything, how to do this. I mean, it sounds complicated, but if you just do it one thing at a time, yeah, you can. If I can do it, and this is so cliche, if I can do it, you can do it, you know? And they're all like, yeah, no, I can't. And, you know, oh, I can't do that. I have to stay here, and I've got this awesome job. Oh my God, I'm working 12, you know, I'm working only like 9 to 5, and I don't have to do weekends, and I get $12.50. And I'm like, wow, $12.50. Woohoo! And it took you 5 years to get there, right? You know? And they're like, I like my job. I'm like, well, I love my job, and I can work when I want. I can go on vacation when I want. I can stay home with the kids when I want. I said, so why can't you do this? You know, it's like they're afraid, which I understand because that's what I was too. I was afraid to do this. When I looked at it and I thought, oh, wow, this is a huge step. You know, I'm not even sure. You know, dangle your little toe in there for a while, and then finally you realize you just need to do this. You just need to do this. It's either you're there or you're not, because if you dangle your toe, you're never going to do it. You're never going to get where you want to be if you stick your toe in there going, oh my God, it's a little too cold. Okay, whatever, I could push you in, but then you're going to be pissed, you know. But yeah, I get a lot of people that say the same thing to me, and I'm like, ugh. You know, well, when you're ready and when you're really ready, let me know.
Amen, sister. Amen. I'm glad you were like, I could see you were anxious to like share, so I wanted to call you out. Dee, did you want to add anything about that? Those comments? Do you get those comments?
Yeah, but people just don't understand. You know, they really just don't understand, and they think that it's like unreachable or, you know, unattainable, and, you know, because they don't know anything. But the great thing about our business is you're taught everything, right? You know, that you need to know in steps, you know, and so you're not bombarded like, boom, everything, all the information out at once. You take it as you need it, you know, and as you learn and as you grow, and then you add a little more, add a little more, add a little more. So that's what's so great about working from home and this type of business. It's, you know, you don't have to know everything to get started. And, you know, and some people think they have to, you know, I don't know anything, so I can't do it. Well, that's not true. You know, I didn't know anything when I got started either, but, you know, little by little I learned, you know. So, yeah, I get a lot of that too.
Awesome. Yeah, and thanks for bringing that up. That was the next thing I was going to mention about it, is it's ignorance, right? It's ignorance. And let me preface this by saying there's a huge difference. So don't get offended if I call someone ignorant, right? There's a huge difference between stupidity and ignorance. I would never call anyone stupid. That's rude, of course. But ignorance is you just don't know what you don't know. I was ignorant. Dee just said she was ignorant. Like, I didn't know. Like, I didn't know. Jolene says, me, right? Like, I just didn't know there was a better way. I didn't know about this. All I knew is that I felt inside there had to be something, right? There had to be a better way to live and to be able to make money and be happy about what you're doing, you know, and not have to go work for someone else, right? So, so educating people that there's a different way is basically what this calls for, to tell you, hey, what you do at a job, that's a linear income because you're trading X amount of your time for X amount of dollars. Your income is limited by the hours available to you, right? So I see Jenny has made it onto the call, and I'm super excited that she's finally here. Yay! So I want to bring her out. And Jenny, since you just got on, I'm not going to throw you to the wolves. I'll tell you what we're talking about right now. We're getting ready to transition. We've been talking about linear income. We're getting ready to talk about passive residual income, but what we were talking about is the in-between, where for those of us who are already in the passive residual income and we're marketing our businesses, the people who are still in the linear income mindset see us marketing our businesses, and of course the first thing they think is, oh, that can't be real. Oh, that's a scam. Get a real job. Get off your butt and get out of your house and go do something, right, for real. Because they're just not educated, you know, just like we weren't educated when we first got started, you know, before we got started, in understanding, you know, that there is a better way, that there is the opportunity to actually live and do the things that you want to do in life. So if you want to hop in here and share on that, that'd be great.
Actually, I would. Thank you. It's great to be back. I appreciate it. Again, you know, we have our glitches and things, but I remember when I hated what I did, and I was good at it, but I remember, you know, like some people love the first day of school, so the night before they're all excited. I would have butterflies in my stomach, but I hated it. And it was the same thing, getting up every day and going to work. And I knew there was a better way, as you talked about. But boy, everybody tear me down as we talked about. And I just wanted to say that it's a hard thing when you hear everybody doing it the same old way. You know, when I lived in South America for a while, and when I came back, the last thing I wanted to do was be in a cubicle. There was no life, nothing green. It was just, well, the cubicle was green. That was about it. You couldn't look out a window. It was awful, and I ended up getting sick. But that was like the mindset. You went to your work every day, and you stayed there until you retired. Like the rest of life, it was just awful. And to know that I'm home and I can snuggle every morning with my pups, there's no life like it. So that's all. I just want to. I'll jump on board in a minute, but yeah, people will always be the downers because it's what is ingrained in us. This is what, like, generation after generation. You know, I had immigrant relatives, grandparents, and you know, my grandfather was a bricklayer. Man, you want to talk about laboring, and that's the way to do it. That was the way they thought, and that was it. And he retired with nothing. That's not the way it should be, and that's not the way it really is. So I'm glad we're here to change that and open up people's mindsets. That's all.
Awesome. Thanks for sharing that. Yeah, absolutely. And I agree. And I feel you on that. My great grandfather was as well. So back in those days, right, a long time ago, people worked hard. There was no internet, right? There was no this. So now we have that opportunity. And something else that that Dee was talking about that I want to touch on too, about, you know, if you're afraid, you know, you can't do something because you don't know how, and it's just like, I didn't know how, and I didn't either. Well, think about what happens when you get a job, okay? When you get a job, what do? Like, you show up 15 minutes early every day because you want to be the star employee, right? You're brand new, you show up early, you're excited, your uniform is all pressed and nice, you know, and you're going above and beyond because you're just getting started, you're excited, right? But do you know how to do your job when you start it? No. What do? You have to be what? Trained, okay? So it's no different if you're starting your own business in the internet marketing industry, right? In the internet marketing world, there is training, and you have to learn and get your feet wet and be educated. And the cool thing and difference between linear income and doing what we do is, if you're excited and gung ho and just want to learn more, do more because you want to make more money or affect more people or whatever and provide more value, and just change this world, change your life, help other people change their lives, there's no one to tell you no. There's no one to say, no, you can't do that. No, I don't want to hear it. No, you're not allowed, right? Like, you have the ability to control what you do, what you don't do, right? You literally have the ability to control your own income. And that's just an amazing thing, right? There is so much training and so much knowledge available to you. It's just never ending, right? So if you want more, it's there for you. It's just like there, overwhelmingly there, you know, as much as you want or as little as you want, you know? So it's completely up to you. So yeah, I like that transition part. I always think about, you know, when we start doing advertising marketing and people who are still in that mindset and mentality of linear income are like, oh, get a real job. Like, it's almost like people think we're sitting here collecting welfare or something. Like, oh, we're too lazy to work, so we're just going to sit at home on our computers and work, and we're just collecting what, you know, like we're aliens, or we've never gotten dirty or worked in the real world, as people call it, you know. No, it's not that we don't know how to work. It's not that we are lazy. It's not that we are on welfare or anything else. It's that we found a better way, right? We found a better way to not only be able to financially provide for our families, but to do it in a way that we can work when we want, and we don't have to work when we don't want, and we have time freedom. I don't know about anyone else on the panel or anyone watching live right now, but to me, time freedom is more important than the money. The freedom to have the ability to, like Jolene said, you know, if I got a sick kid, you know, I just don't sit down on my computer that day, right? Or whatever. I spend time with my sick kids and take care of them. The ability to get up and, you know, go to lunch at my kid's school when I feel like it, or go on field trips, or go on vacation whenever I want, or just do what I want, right? Time freedom is priceless. That's just one thing that no one can give you, and once it's gone, you can't get it back. You know what I mean? It's extraordinarily powerful. So for me, time freedom is the most important thing. And it looks like Jenny has unmuted herself and wants to add something onto that.
if I could, thanks, Laura. And there's one thing about, there have been times when I had to be working and working and working, and I missed out time. Now, I don't have any kids, but I missed out time with some elderly pets because they were home alone all day in their last days, and I didn't get to be there. The one good thing is that I recently, this is not a good thing, I recently lost, but I was able to be at the hospital. I was able to be there when no one else was able to be there. And that's something I will never have to regret. I got to be there. Time freedom being with kids, but what about the time freedom you have with the people who may not be around always? People who are getting ready to pass. And that's my why. So that's something to think of. And I'm grateful because I get to spend time with my mom still. I'm blessed that she's still with me, and I would regret it if I didn't have that opportunity to be with. I just wanted to add that's another reason why.
Yep, that's totally true. And you know, I'm right there with you on that. My mom passed away on September 30th this past year, and you know, she July, August, and September, the last 3 months of her life, I was able to be there every single day and help take care of her. She needed, you know, help. My dad was there, but you know, I was there too. And you know, if I had a job, I wouldn't have been able to be there. And you know, so that's just something that's like you said, it's irreplaceable. It's irreplaceable. Jolene, did you have something you wanted to add? No, okay. I saw you were unmuted, so I didn't know if you wanted to. I try to see when people unmute themselves. Normally, when you unmute yourself, I'm like, okay, they want to say something. So I'm like,
no,
okay.
I thought I muted myself after the discussion, so I guess I wasn't noisy enough to make noises. But when Jenny said that she's still with her mom, actually, May 14th is my mom's 6 years that she's been gone. And I had to take off of work. My sister came banging at my front door at 4 o'clock in the morning and said, we got to go, and we got to go now. We got 5 hours to say goodbye, grab the kids, and let's go. So, you know, and work's not open at 4 o'clock in the morning, you know. So there you are. You got to choose. Okay, I'm going to sit with my mom, and we're going to say goodbye. But now I have to excuse myself to go call work and say, hey, I'm hoping it's okay because here I am with my mom, and we're in the hospital, and I'm not coming in, so please don't fire me, you know. So, yeah, it was tough. You know, I mean, I had a good group of people, but that still doesn't mean that if I don't come in because of that I don't get written up or whatever. You know, a lot of companies, they don't care, that it's not an issue. I had to pull the kids from school. That was another issue. You know, you got to go talk to the teachers. You got to do this. And then I spent 3 or 4 days straight in a row getting all the funeral arrangements done with my father. Those are another days off that aren't expected. You either are graced at work for those days off, or you have to take your PTO. Well, if you do your PTO, there goes everything else for the next year. You know, so yeah, I remember it well 6 years ago, very well.
Yeah, I'm sorry. I know that's close to your heart, obviously, and that was just yesterday. So I feel you, girl. I feel you. Yeah. Yeah, I know when my mom was sick in the hospital and I needed to go to her immediately, and I called my husband and he left work to, you know, and it was the middle of the day and he had plenty of other managers, you know, there, and it was slow. The restaurant, you know, business is slow at 3 o'clock in the afternoon, and he was like, I'm on my way, you know. His store was covered in everything, and his boss called him and said, if you're not back in the store in 15 minutes, you're fired. Like, it's like his mother-in-law, right? I mean, it's crazy. So I feel you on that. And, you know, that was recent. But that's just the way it goes. That's the way it is, and that's the way it'll always be. And it's just, you know, just the way it is when you have a job. There's no way around it. You know what I mean? So let's move on. Let's start talking about passive residual income. So those of you out there watching live in the chat, kind of quiet tonight. Kind of quiet. If you have anything to add or any comments or any questions, please put them out there so we can address them for you. But passive residual income basically means inactive or submissive income. And I want to put the thing out there. You'd be like, Laura, but you say, you know, it's hard work to get started and do all that. Yeah, it is. Absolutely it is. you know, this is your own business. This is, you know, you running your own business and getting started. This isn't like sign up and money starts falling off trees type thing, right? But the point of saying passive residual is inactive, the submissive is like the residual part is because you work hard to build it, and your business works for you when you're literally physically not in front of it working it, right? And residual means recurring payments, for those of you who don't know what residual means. So usually it's in specific amounts on specific you know, days, like every single month, the 14th of the month or the 20th of the month or whatever day someone makes their payment, right? And so like your water bill is residual, your electric bill is residual, your rent or your mortgage, those are residual items. And so there's a saying in this industry that we love so much, which is your bills are residual, so why shouldn't your income be, right? So the difference is like we said, linear income is where your income is limited by hours available, and you work 40 hours a week. At the end of the week, it's over, and then the next week, you start over, and you don't get that next paycheck until you put in that 40 hours of time. Whereas where you have passive residual income, it's like, yes, you work hard, okay, and that can continue to work for you even while you're not physically sitting in front of your computer working, because we're marketing, right? We're putting our links out there. We're providing content to the world. We're providing value to the world. And so when people come across it, see it, decide to become involved in what we're doing, like literally, like today, I spent a long time on the lawnmower, and then I was weed eating, and then like I was leaf blowing, and then cleaning out the fence from the flood that we had, and all the leaves and sticks came up on the fence, and I was outside for a long time today. But literally, I can get commission notifications. Oh, you just made $100. Oh, you just made $100. Oh, you just made $100. $300, $400, $500 in a day while I'm mowing. Now, tell me if that's happened to you at your job, right? That doesn't happen. That's unheard of. You literally can make money while you're sleeping, right? You heard that saying people talk about who work from home. They're like, oh, I make money in my sleep. It's true, because you never know when someone out there is going to see something that you've provided of content and value and say, hey, I want to be a part of that, and click the button to join you, to learn, to become educated, to do the same thing that you do because you have something they want. Well, they could be living in Australia, right? They could live across the world where it's daytime for them and you're in your bed asleep. Boom, you wake up, 5 a.m. it says you got an email that you made $100, right? You made a commission or whatever. You know, you made $400. We have products inside of our MLSP back office that are called pure profit products. And if you market that, it's content and value, things that people want to know. People are seeking knowledge that you can provide to them. If you market that and someone sees it and they want it and they click to buy it, you get 100% of that. Of the pure profit products, you get 100% of that, right? So depending on what it is and how much it is, you can make that. You know what I mean? So that's passive residual income. But what we do inside of My Lead System Pro, and it does cost, it's $149.97 a month, but you can click the Join Now button right below, okay? And whoever directed you to this call, you will be referred back to them, and you will be joining them, right? And they'll be happy to get you started and excited to help you on your journey, starting your own business. But literally, you get started, it's $10 for 10 days, and then it's $149.97 a month. And I'm always upfront. If nothing else, I keep it real, right? About what the business costs you. And a lot of people are like, but those people are the people who have the mindset of, I don't have to pay, I shouldn't have to pay to you know, own my own business because I don't have to pay to do my job. Which, by the way, if you missed that, you should watch the replay because we talked about that last week. That you do pay to go to your job, and you pay more for your job than this business. But literally, every single person that decides to join you and say, hey, I want to do what they're doing. I want to have time freedom. I want to work from home. I want to have residual passive income, right? You get $100 for every single person. And that's residual every single month. You know what I mean? It's not you get $100 one time and then you never get $100 again. Every time that person makes their payment every single month, you get $100. That's residual income. And that can happen while you're sleeping, right? So, you know, this also allows you to have, and I wrote this down because I said in the linear income category, I didn't feel like I was having an impact in the world, right? This allows you to feel like you're impacting the world, because with what we do, we literally get to help people have the freedom that we're talking to you about right now, that we're educating you that there is a different way, there is a better way if you're seeking to have time freedom, if you're seeking to own your own business, if you're seeking to work for yourself in the comfort of your home, that it's possible. We're here. Like Jolene said, it sounds like a cliche, you know, if I can do it, anybody can do it, but that's exactly what I said back in September 2012. I was like, dude, if he can do it, I wasn't as bad as he was, right? I was talking about someone specific who we shared a similar background. I was like, if he can do it, I can do it. And I made the decision. It wasn't stick my toe in the water and test it and say, oh, it's too cold, it's too whatever. I said, I'm doing this, right? When you make the decision that you want to do something, then generally people do it. If you say you want to go on vacation somewhere, what do? You say, I want to go on vacation and I want to go to, let's pick what everybody thinks, Disney World, right? You call, you booked a vacation, and then the interim, the in-between of the decision to go on vacation and the decision of it's Disney World and this is the date we booked it, the time in between is when you do the work necessary to accomplish that decision, right? And then boom, it's done. You know, in between, you get the tickets booked, and you know, you get the everything paid for, and you make the plans of how you're getting there, and you know, transportation, whatever, and then you go and you do it. That's how life works. So when you make a decision that you no longer want to be in that category of linear income, that hey, I want passive residual income. I want what these people have. I want to have time freedom. I want to be able to say, hey, oh shit, you know, the transmission went out on my car. I need an extra $2,000 like yesterday to be able just to sit at my computer and work more, because if I work more, I make more. You know what I mean? And then if you don't have anything massive going on and you know, just want to take a vacation and you don't want to work so much, you can back off and you don't have to work as much, right? You literally have the control to do what it is that you want in life. And that's a powerful thing, right? And we have that and we love it. And I see that Jenny has unmuted herself, so I'm going to stop my rant and let her take the wheel for a second.
Thank you very much. You know, one thing I wanted to say, you know, a month is really not a big deal, as we've talked about. Think about owning a franchise, and I think about, you know, some friends. Let's say you want to sell coffee, right? You've got to take out the loan for that. You've got to hire employees. You've got the insurance, the whole thing. Every month, you're reordering cups. So that's money going out of your profit. Every month, you're ordering cups, napkins, forks, knives, etc. So you're always spending money to make money. And every day, you've got to sell more and more coffee to make more and more profits to cover. And then, so, let's say you sell a cup of coffee tomorrow morning. You're not going to keep getting paid on that cup of coffee every month.
I think we lost. I think we lost Jenny. She was saying that she was talking about, let's say you sell coffee. So I'll take over for her. I think her internet just went out. Basically, she's saying if someone comes in and, you know, if you're selling coffee and someone comes in and buys coffee, you have to buy more coffee. You have to buy more cups. You have to continually be replacing your inventory to be able to sell it. But it's not residual, right? Like, you don't know if that same person is going to come buy coffee that same day on that next month, right? So you're making that money all the time. But you're constantly spending money to make money. And that goes back to what I was talking about with, you know, if you missed the call last week, you should watch the replay. If you're thinking, oh, I shouldn't have to spend $150 a month to run my business. Yeah, you know, how much money? I think we figured you spend about $120 to $160 a month on gas to put in your car to go to your job that you have, that you think that you don't have to pay for, right? Much less your uniform and the food that you have to buy while you're there for your lunch breaks, and the child care that you have to provide for your kids while you're at that job. So you actually spend a lot more than $150 a month to go to your job, right? So this is actually cheaper than going to a job. But another, and to help you understand about other forms of passive residual income or other examples of passive residual income will be things like stock investments, right? Stock investments, rental properties, website revenue. You know, with MLSP, you're given a blog, right? So you literally not only can you market your business and the tons and tons of system campaigns that are provided for you in the back office of your MLSP on social media sites, your favorite social media sites, Facebook's mine, a lot of people use Instagram, Twitter, so on and so forth, but you literally have a blog where you can just, it's yours. You can share anything you want about what it is that you do and have people, join you. So it's a real no-brainer, and I mean, I love it. I've been doing it for over 4 years now, successfully, and these other ladies that are on with me on this panel with me live right now as well have been doing it for years. So, Jenny, I know you got popped off there. I finished your thought on coffee because I knew where you were going with it. So, I finished that for you, but. Now I want to bring the ladies out here and ask them their thoughts on submissive and inactive income, which is passive residual income. Jolene, I'll go to you first and share your thoughts on the business and the difference of doing what you do now versus what you were doing when you had a linear income.
Oh, okay. So yeah, I've got income that comes in every month, like you were doing today. You were doing yard work. Well, I was up to my eyeballs helping someone clean an apartment. But I said I would do it, so I didn't work today. But when I got on the computer just to check, take a break, I had 2 people sign up with my newsletter. And I was like, oh, that was easy, So while I'm scrubbing floors, I have 2 signups today. And now it's up to them to look through the system, and I contact them, and I talk to them, and I say, hey, what's up, And then you get to know the person. So now if I would be working on Sunday, I would not be able to be outside. I would have to work my 8 hours on a Sunday instead of volunteering to help someone, which was better for me. I would rather volunteer to help someone that knows I would like to help them than have to go to work for 8 hours on a Sunday going, ugh. And I know we spent a lot of time doing what we did because it had to be done, but we didn't have to be there. We could have gone there for like 2 hours and then gone for a bicycle ride. We had the option. It wasn't a big deal. So while I'm doing whatever I want to do, I've got income coming in instead of having to work every day. I don't know. To me, it's like a no-brainer because I just, when I was looking for a job, I thought to myself, how am I supposed to get everyone else's schedule? If I work nights, then I can't see Kennedy during the day. If I work days, then who's going to watch at night? I had to figure out how I was going to fit in everyone else's schedule. And I'm like, no. I don't want to fit in everyone else's schedule. I want to run my stuff my way, and when I say I want to go do this, I'm going to do this, and I'm going to do this, I've earned it now. I've done it long enough the other way. It sucked. Now we're going to do it this way, and it's so much better. So much better.
Yeah, absolutely. I love that. You're like, no. I'm going to do it my way, right? I love that. Yeah. And the thing is, and maybe some people watching this live, and maybe some people who are watching this replay, this is something you need to hear. So I'm going to go ahead and say, it's okay. You have permission. You have permission to say you're worth it. You have permission to say you deserve it. You have permission, and I'm telling you that your kids, right, they deserve it too. They deserve you. They deserve your time, if that's what you so choose to do. Because much like Jolene was just saying, you're always trying to figure out, like, if she had to go to a job today, she probably would have sat at her desk for 8 hours, and then when she came home, she would have been rushing to try to get dinner ready for everybody, to try to spend a little bit of time with her granddaughter before she had to go to bed because it's a school night, right? So it's not like you're going to be selfish and keep the kids up all night, right? Just so you can spend time because you had to go to a job. You know what I mean? Like, it's okay. You deserve everything that you want. You know, you ever had that feeling when you're a little kid and you say, I want to do this and I want to do that and I want to do this and I want to do that when I grow up, but then you grow up and the hard world smacks you in the face and it's like, no, I had to get a job. I couldn't live my dream, right? And I want to share this too. I was thinking about this the last couple days. There was a boy in school, and the teachers asked him what he wanted to be when he grew up, and he said, I want to be happy. And the teacher said, no, you don't understand the assignment. And he was like, no, you don't understand life. You know who said that? John Lennon. John Lennon said that. And that's so true, because you deserve to be happy, right? You deserve to be happy. You deserve, if you want to be a stay-at-home parent, if you want to be a stay-at-home wife, if you're not a parent or a wife, if you're just single and you just want to do what you want to do and live the way you want to live, you deserve that. You're not confined to have to conform to live the way that the education system teaches kids and people that you have to live. You have every capability. You have every option to work for yourself successfully, knowing nothing from the get-go. Hell, I didn't know nothing. I didn't know nothing about nothing. You know why? I mean, I said why I wanted to do what I wanted to do. I wanted to because I wanted to help financially provide for my family, right? But what was it that made me believe that I could do it? Really? You want to know what it was that made me believe that I could do it? Because I was one of these annoying moms and wives who would get on Facebook like every 5 minutes. Oh, I just got the dishwasher emptied. Now I'm going off to do laundry, right? And then I had my phone on me all the time, right? And then I'd go do the laundry, and I'd be like, just finished folding towels, going to mow the lawn, right? And I put my phone down, I go mow the lawn, I come back, da-da-da-da-da, right? And you would think nobody's interested in that shit, but for real people are, all right? Because then, like, all the other moms and dads out there who are living just like me would respond to like, yeah, I just did that, or yeah, that's on my list today, right? And the thing is, and then when I made the decision, you know, I want to work for myself from home and help financially provide for my family, I said to myself, this is what I said to myself, and I didn't know nothing about internet marketing at all, but I said to myself, Facebook is my like adult outlet because I have kids, stay-at-home mom, right? So the way that I have adult interaction in my life is to communicate stupid stuff through Facebook, like I just finished laundry, I just made dinner, right? But it got a lot of engagement. Why? Because that proves that there were people out there just like me, right? Just like me, who obviously had a sad, sad life. Not a sad, sad life. I mean a happy life because I get to be with my family. But you know what I mean? That we're looking, seeking, craving something more, okay? To share, hey, this is what I'm doing. Like, anybody else out there stuck here with me? You know what I mean? This is what we do. We take care of our kids. You know, we have to do laundry and take care of house and stuff like that. Moms and dads, not just moms, you know, and dads too, because there's a lot of dads out there like that, right? So I said to myself, if I can get this kind of interaction with adults talking about doing some damn laundry, right? What if Jolene just commented in our little chat, OMG, I hate pairing socks. I just totally ratted her out. I feel you, girl. I make my kids do that, right? They love it. They're like, Mommy, can we pair the socks? And I'm like, yeah, but then you know when you go to put the socks on, like, I got one of my socks and one of Blake's socks paired together. And I got one of Dad's socks and one of Samantha's socks paired together. It's hilarious, right? I so busted you, but that was fun. I love busting people. So, oh, Matty D's on. What's up, Matt? He said preach. I bust him a lot, too. He'll tell you. So anyway, I said to myself, if I can get this kind of engagement and interaction with other adults about simple things that I do in my life, you know, laundry, dishes, mowing lawn, things like that, because there are people out there just like me living the same type of life, doing the same type of things with the same struggles, then if I can be out there on Facebook and provide value to them, like, hey, I decided to start a business and work for myself from home. We're going to see how it goes, right? But I'm going to do my damnedest, and I'm going to change my life because I made the decision to do it. You want to do the same? You interested? Hit me up, right? And I said, if I can just share the simple, like, idiotic things of, you know, life, and other people fit into that with me and share those same feelings and thoughts and lifestyles, then I'm sure that it would be just as easy to share about a business that can help me change my life, that can help other people change their lives too. That's how. You know, so for those of you who are like, well, I don't know how, or what do I do, or I'm scared, or oh my gosh, it's $150 a month. We already squashed the $150 a month thing because you pay more than that to go to your job. All right, seriously, gas, food, wardrobe, childcare, you pay more than $150 a month. All right, so let's just squash that. Take a leap of faith and step out and make a decision that your time and your family's time is more important than that J.O.B. if you don't love your job, if you're only working a job because you feel like you have to. Now, if you're passionate about it, we already had that discussion earlier, that's a different thing. But if you really, really want something different for yourself and for your family, this is the lifestyle for you. It truly is. But you make the decision, and it doesn't matter that you don't know what you're doing. I didn't know what I was doing either. I just proved that, right? I just said, the way I figured it out was, if I can share these things on Facebook, why can't I share content and value to other people just like me who are feeling the same way, stuck and want to make a difference and change in their life? That's all I do, right? That's all I do. Jolene again just said, people spend more a month than that out drinking. Y'all don't even know. You don't want to get me started because y'all know I'm a recovering alcoholic. I spend more than that in 2 damn days drinking. So seriously, right? I did back in the day. 150 what nothing. Matter of fact, I had to stop drinking liquor and start drinking beer because I couldn't afford to drink the amount of liquor needed to like get drunk. It was so sad, so pathetic, right? Like if I added up all the money I spent on alcohol in my life, it would be just millions of dollars probably, no doubt. But yeah, it's true. You know what Jolene said. People spend more a month on alcohol. People spend more a month on cigarettes, right? People spend more a month on fast food. So the money is available to everyone. You know, you say, well, I can't afford it. It's available to you. It's about where your priorities are at, right? You have to prioritize what you want. Do you want success bad enough? Do you want to be at home with your kids bad enough? Do you want what Jolene wanted bad enough to say, oh no, I'm not fitting my schedule around, you know, and into this. I'm gonna do what I want to do. Like I said, like Dee said, like Jenny said. So that's a decision you have to make. There is no sticking your toe in. It's either you do it or you don't. Like I said, planning a vacation. You said, hey, I want to go on vacation. Hey, let's go here. And then you figure out how in between. But you make it happen, right? There's a deadline. So if you say, hey, I want to work for myself from home and be successful, and I want to make X amount of dollars by this time, there's your decision and there's your deadline. Then you bust your ass in the in-between and you build it. And then the residual, which is the submissive part, comes in, which you work hard, 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 and then you start getting residual income, and you still work hard, but you don't have to work as hard. Then you kind of like, okay, well, I don't need to work as much because it's residual, right? You still take care of your people, you still take care of your team, but you don't have to work as hard. And then it just gets better and better and better and better and better, and it's absolutely amazing. I love it. And as a matter of fact, I said today, I'm not gonna bust the bubble for it yet because I haven't even told my team. I just had this conversation about an hour before this call with my husband, and I said, I want to take a vacation and I want to go to XYZ. Like I said, I'm not gonna bust the bubble because I haven't told my team yet. And he was like, okay. I was like, okay, let's do it, right? So now I just gotta pick a date. And it's the same thing. Made a decision I want to go to XYZ. We're going to pick a date, and then we'll figure out the in-between, you know, what we need to do to make it happen. So I love it. So I obviously already talked to Jolene. Let's move over to Jenny because I know she keeps going in and out, and she's unmuted herself, so she wants to say something. But Jenny, could you share your thoughts on the passive residual income and how it has helped you in your life and how and who you have been able to help and in all the different countries you've been able to help with what you do, even being on TV and in newspapers in other countries and stuff like that, because of this freedom lifestyle, right? So come on out, Jenny, and share some for me.
Thanks, Laura. I appreciate that. Thank you. One thing before I even start that, I would just like to say, you know, the world has changed in 75 years. I mentioned my grandfather, you know, doing the bricks and the whole thing. You know, and they stuck with the one thing. Now kids today, it's like you guys owe it to your kids to do this because the world has changed and the internet has changed everything. When your kids get to the age where they have to go out and get jobs, it's totally different. And if you can them a lifestyle, what the heck? Why put them through all those years of college if they can be making money and making a difference in the world? So I just wanted to say that. As far as doing what I do, man, I got to tell you, I've been having some amazing experiences because of this and talking to people in other countries, helping to find lost dogs. This gives me the freedom to be able to reach out to people and help people. Should I go ahead and say again? Like, I've had wonderful experiences. Again, reaching out to people in other countries. My talents and gifts, and if I had a regular job, man, I would be able to be up in the middle of the night getting messages and communicating with long animals. I know it sounds crazy, and we can talk about that another time, but the gratitude that I've received, being able to help, being able to people with their loved ones, because I don't have to get up and go. I don't have to do that. I can use what God gave me and know that, or whenever I count on something coming in the bank that I did 2 months ago, 3 months ago. I don't have to worry about it because it's coming in all the time. I got to participate in a private gallery party last night, and while all that was going on, I got sign-ups for my newsletter in my meetings. I didn't do anything, but it was out there working for me while I was able to connect with some lovely past for other people. For those of you who don't know, I have some other psychic gifts, and I'm not sure if my connection is gone or not. So I just think that you need to just give it a shot. Try the $10 below and just do it. Just get it on. And you will change your life. You'll change your kids' lives, and you'll change the world. And
awesome.
I don't
Thank you, Jenny. I appreciate that. Thank you. Yeah, I wanted to make sure I got you in because I know your internet's going in and out, so I didn't want to risk losing you. So I'll move on to Miss D. So D, if you could come out and share your thoughts on passive residual income and how it's helped change your life, the people that you've been able to meet from traveling and going to events and things like that. It's a whole different lifestyle. So what are your thoughts?
It's really amazing, actually. When you get to go to different events and meet people that you interact with all the time online, and you get to actually build relationships with them at events and stuff. It's just totally amazing. But the income, it's like it's coming. It's coming. It's you built it once, and it just continues to come in month after month after month, and it gives you peace of mind. It gives you peace of mind that that this money is coming to you every month, and you don't have to you don't have to go out and earn that same money again, and the more you earn, the more you work, the more that's going to come in residually every month, so it just it's just totally amazing. The whole the business itself is amazing. The people are amazing. The events are amazing. Having spent so much time with you, Laura, over the events that we've been together, with, it's been just a blessing in my life. Being around people who are there to help you and build you up and do everything that they can to make sure that you're successful is instead of somebody being trying to keep you down because you're going to take their job or something, but you've got people that are there helping you to grow and encouraging you, and it's just totally different, and it's the best, it really is. It's the best option available to anybody who wants to, take the jump, and give it a shot, because you won't regret it. It's amazing. That's all I can say. I've learned so much that I can't even, put it into words how much I've learned, and how many great friendships I've made through this business. So it's really good, and I thank you.
Yeah, awesome. Thank you for those kind of words. Yeah, we've been to a lot of events together, haven't we, girl? It's been a lot over the last 4 years. It's crazy. I think I've been to 16, 17, 18. I've been to almost 20 events in the last 4 years. That's a lot, right? But it's awesome. It's awesome to live your life, guys. I said this on stage in Chicago back in 2013, I think August or October of 2013, that when you stop making decisions based on your bank account and you start making decisions based on what's right here, about what you want to do for yourself, for your family, for your business, for your life, then it's amazing how your bank account will change. You can tell a lot about someone's financial philosophy by how much money is in their bank account, right? But when you stop basing decisions on your bank account and start basing them on your heart and what you want for yourself and your family, your bank account starts to change. It's crazy. I know it sounds crazy, but it's totally true. Because everybody's always like, well, I can't do this because I don't have the money, or I can't do that, or I can't do this. If you start thinking a little bit differently and make a decision on what you want to do first, then you figure out a way to make it happen financially, and your bank account actually starts to change. And that's what I was talking about a little bit ago. Like, you want to go on vacation, you make the decision, then you pick the date and time, and then the in-betweens, you figure it out. Like, because when you decide that you want something, you do whatever it takes to get it, right? It's pretty simple. So that's it for tonight. Linear income versus passive residual income and how it will change your life. You have to make a decision, right? And there's something else I want to share. It's a little acronym called BARM, B-A-R-M, and it stands for Belief, Action, Results, and Momentum. Because here's the thing, when you have belief in something, when you really believe something, like if you're watching this right now, whether live or replay, and you're just feeling pumped up, and you're like, yes, that makes sense. Yes, that's something I want in my life, and you're like, adrenaline's going, and you're pumped, and you have a belief. When you have a belief level, then you start to take action. And when you take action, taking massive action, we talk about all the time, take action to change your life, you start to see results. And then you start to see results and get excited. It builds momentum. So when momentum is built, it raises your belief level. And when your belief level is raised, then you take more action. When you take more action, you get more results, which gives you more momentum. And it just goes on and on and on. So belief, action, results, momentum. It's kind of like Jolene said earlier today. She was cleaning out a yucky apartment, right? But she jumped on her computer to check, and she got 2 opt-ins, right? 2 people signed up for her newsletter, and she's like, yeah, right? So that's raised her belief level. This works. Like, I wasn't even at my computer working, right? These are the 2 people that signed up for her newsletter today are a result of work she had done prior, putting her information out there, putting her content and value out there, however she chooses to do it, whether it be Instagram or Facebook or Twitter or blogging or whatever the case may be. She has marketed value and content to the world in some way, shape, or form. It's called marketing, guys, right? And by doing that, when then she's not at her desk working, it's out there for people to partake in. And 2 people partook in it today and signed up for a newsletter, and she gets notified, and she was like, oh, it works, right? People are interested in what I'm doing. It raised her belief level, and when she has a higher belief level, what's she going to do? Take more action. She says, man, I got to reach out to these people. I need to call them and say, hey, what's going on with you? What's the deal in your life? What is it that you want? What is it that you desire? How did you find me? What is it about what you saw that I offer that you love? What do you seek in your life? And so her action level is raised, and that creates more results, which creates more momentum, which raises the belief level. So remember that. Write that down, BARM. It works for everything in your life, whether it's business, personal, anything. Raised belief levels creates action, action creates results create momentum, and it just goes on and on and on. So I appreciate everybody joining us tonight. If you're on live, if you're watching the replay, we appreciate you too. Make sure that you get back with the person who invited you to this call. You can click the button below this video or below the chat and get started today for only $10, right? $10 for 10 days gives you access to everything that we use. That allows us to live this freedom lifestyle that we're talking about, right? Which truly is such a blessing, such a blessing. And that's the most important thing to me, is the time freedom and the ability to help people change their lives. It's absolutely phenomenal. So all you got to do is click the button below, get back with the person who invited you to this call, and make sure that you also tune in next Sunday night, because we're here every Sunday night at 9 o'clock p.m. Eastern, sharing a new topic, new content, new value, just, if nothing else, to get your brain working, right? To get you thinking about things in a little bit different way, because like I said, ignorance is abounding in this world, right? It's not stupidity, it's ignorance. Some people just don't know what they don't know, and we're here to educate, to enlighten, so that you can make the best choices for yourself and for your family and your life, right? Because that's all we really want, is to help people come into being the best version of themselves, for themselves and for their family. So thanks for joining us tonight. I want to thank my panelists. Jenny, I know you had trouble getting on and staying on all that stuff, but we appreciate the effort and you being here and sharing your thoughts. And Jolene and Dee, thank you, ladies, as well, for being on this week, last week, every week you guys have been on. I appreciate you as well. And look forward to seeing everybody, same bat time, same bat place, here next Sunday, the 22nd, at 9 o'clock p.m. Eastern. And this replay will be up until then. So if you missed it and you want to come back and watch any part of it or all of it, you can come back to the same link that you came to tonight and see the replay. And appreciate you guys. We'll see you next Sunday. Have a good night.